A good Thursday early afternoon. Roger Hiller, Wuthering Heights. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Well, this Thursday morning, we have a ridge of higher pressure with the showing the thicknesses or heights of 500 millibars, and you can see this big ridge here. And this is going to be the controlling influence. As it moves over, you note that there's a lot of low cloud cover, and these are going to be very stubborn to get out of here. A temperature inversion at about 1,800, 2,000, 2,500 feet. And this is affecting a lot of Vermont. A little bit of breaks of sunshine now taking place. And notice a relatively warm push of temperatures. This is going to be the case as we get into the weekend. But a very important storm system will be moving into the region. This will be affecting us on Monday, during the last half of the day especially, and into the night, Monday night and Tuesday, with mixed precipitation types and a strong potential for glazing, as well as a possibility of some wet snow if the evolution of the storm is colder, and also some very strong gradient winds. The gradient winds will be out of the east and maybe east-northeasterly, and areas susceptible would be along the western slopes and primarily the southern Green Mountains, perhaps into Rutland County. Current weather conditions right now do show that we have a little bit of flurry activity that's pretty much on the wane now, and it's working on really out of the region as we speak. And a little bit of rain shower activity where temperatures were warmer. Down here we have actually a tornado on the ground moving through, it looks like parts of Louisiana. The other interesting thing is we have a lot of freezing fog, relatively cold temperatures here. But note all the fog this morning, and this is indicative of that temperature inversion, which is really all the way up through the Great Lakes and into the upper Midwest and even Central Plains. So looking at the country as a whole, we'll start back, and we do have a pretty significant trough of low pressure moving through the west, another upper level system that's driving this, and this is going to wane as it tries to make a run toward Vermont. Eventually, we're going to see this storm system just be a very narrow strand and then eventually fall apart about during the day Saturday. So this is how this will play out here. And we're looking at this system kind of falling apart as it moves into Vermont. Well, this is valid Saturday morning. Notice just a few isolated sprinkles or light rain showers in Vermont. A little bit heftier as we get into really during the later part of the day on Sunday. And the first of two surges, this is the one we're watching here, 979 millibars, that will deepen as it moves across the Carolinas. This will sort of fall apart, but you can see the projection here. Lighter precipitation gets in. This is 984 millibar over Delmarva Peninsula. That's valid about Monday night, and the fun and games have begun at this point. And finally, that system exits completely, looks like by around 1 o'clock on Wednesday. It kind of splits in two with some snow, and colder weather will be kind of working its way in eventually. And that is through next Friday, the 27th of January. Note the very cold Arctic air that has now moved in at that point in time, just beyond this period. So let's look at the precipitation type. And this is valid during the morning hours, 7 o'clock Saturday morning. We just start to get a mix here. This is coming in during, looks like really Sunday night. So a little bit of a mixed precipitation, but this is the first part of that wave, and a lot of it falls apart. And then the main wave arrives for the main event. Changing over to rain, back to snow showers, back to rain. Crazy. GFS ensemble shows just that light precipitation, but the main event is right here. and you can see that the plumes separate considerably, so a lot of model confusion. Roughly, this is Monday afternoon, things start to get a little bit crazy. Looking at temperature, you can see this is centered on Burlington, Vermont. Up and down we go. Warmer temperatures coming in over the weekend, and then as we get into Monday afternoon, roughly this period, you can see that the model is all over the place, and this is where it's not having a good grasp. And the reason for that, there could be cold air, there could be marginally warm air, temperature profiles, different precipitation types, etc. 7-day total precipitation accumulation, QPF, you can see that some pretty hefty amounts, a little bit off-centered to the south and east of Vermont, but still very healthy. This is about 1-inch amounts here. Temperatures, very much above normal through this period. This is the maximum next 5 days weighted. Notice the cold air coming inbound in the west. 3 days later, not a whole lot of change. Now for the spooky part of the storm here, this is just freezing rain glazing. And we're getting into the period now. You'll start to see it develop there. Okay, this is valid 1 o'clock in the morning on Monday. That would be 1 o'clock on Tuesday, excuse me. This is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And some of the amounts here are fairly high and would be problematic. 5/10 of an inch at Morrisville. That's a ½ inch of radial ice. 6/10 around Burlington. Now this is just an idea. We're 144 hours out with this, so I would not subscribe to this at this point, but it's something that we're going to have to watch. And then the other concern is the downsloping off the mainly southern greens, maybe into the central greens. You can see some pretty strong winds here, hurricane force. And it begins to lighten up considerably by the time we get into Tuesday afternoon. So the worst of it is really going to be during the day Monday, and then carrying into basically Monday night and Tuesday. That'll also be in conjunction with some heavier precipitation working on through as well. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.